Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is that you are tuning into this. My name is Brooke Niswander. You can call me Coach Niswander. And welcome to Starstruck Parenting. I believe this is episode 19. And I wanted to come on here real quick just to touch base with you guys, carry on a little bit of what I was talking about last week. Now, last week we talked about how our kids come into this world and they are closer to source than we are, right? We've had a lot of years of separation by the time we've had children. And what normally happens is, as adults, we believe that our way is the right way. What we have done up until this point, we know more, so we need to teach them what we think they need to know. And to an extent, yes, there are certain things that they don't know that they do need to learn from us. But as far as like behaviors and customs, that sort of thing, those things become conditioned behavior for us, okay? And what I want to do here is I want to caution you against stifling your children's creativity, okay? Because our kids come into this world and they're like, oh my God, I'm having, they're drawing the planets, the moon, the stars, God, whatever it might be, right? It's like the story of the kid. He's in class and he's drawing a picture, and then the teacher says, "Well, what are you drawing?" He says, "It's a picture of God." And she says, "Well, nobody's ever seen God, so just wait till I finish the picture," right? Our kids have a massive amount of imagination, and as they get older, most of us as adults, I'm guilty of it. I've seen people that are way worse than I am, where they're like, "Oh, quit being silly, quit being out and come down to earth, Why don't you get serious?" And what we do is we drum that imagination out of them. Now, Einstein said the imagination is life's preview, or the preview to life's coming attractions, right? The more we can imagine, the more we can utilize our imagination, the more creative we're going to be in life, the more that we can create. And by the time we're adults, most of us have very little imagination left. Like very little. So I would encourage you to encourage your kids to imagine, to make believe. Because especially nowadays with, how do I put it? Electronic babysitters being the norm, right? Drop a comment if you have had to fight with your kids about, tablet time or phone time or electronics time whatsoever, right? It used to be that they'd plunk you in front of a TV. Now it's, here's a tablet, play whatever games on it, and our kids are on them the whole time. And there have been studies, like if you look at Steve Jobs before he passed away, his kids got no electronics time. They went to Montessori schools or Waldorf schools. They did not have access to tablets. They did not have any of that stuff because of the damage that it does to their brains. For a child, screen time, being on an electronic device is the same as an adult doing cocaine. Right? It fires up those same receptors in their brain. All right, so I understand that electronics is kind of a way of life now, but if we can minimize the amount of time that people are going to be, or our kids are going to be on electronics, and give them an opportunity to get bored. I know it sounds weird, and I know that usually we don't want that because then our kids become a pain in the butt. But if you give them an opportunity to become bored, they're going to have to use their imagination in order to entertain themselves. They might have to pick up a book. They might start drawing something. They might make up a game. Who knows what it's going to be? But encourage that imaginative use, right? My wife has talked to the schools regarding our kids, and they say that we have probably the strictest electronics rules of any household in our school, right? And that basically, during the week, kids get electronics after dinner till 7:30, and then they're shut off. Well, usually about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. On the weekends, they get 4 hours of electronics time. That's it. Now, I'm not telling you how to parent your kids, but I am suggesting that you give them every advantage in life. And one of the biggest advantages is to have an active imagination. for them to be creative, right? If you noticed that all the movies nowadays are like superhero movies or something it's a remake of something that was made before, because nobody has original ideas. And original ideas are extremely valuable. So encourage your children to have them. And when they come up with one, don't just shut it down. Don't just say, oh, that's stupid, or that'll never happen, because there were so many things that were stupid and would never happen. Like the Wright brothers, their dad was a preacher and was very against the idea of humans ever being able to fly. Well, those brothers who owned a bicycle shop had the first plane that flew. Because they believed they could. Because they had enough imagination to think outside the box. There are so many ideas that became household names. They've come to fruition because somebody had the courage to go against the norm, to use their imagination and think outside the box. So please, my friends, encourage your children to use their imagination. Don't stifle it. I hope you got some good value out of this. If you did, share it with somebody else. Make sure to like and hit the subscribe button. And we'll talk to you again next week. Bye.